Who wants to hear my favorite IoT story? Okay. Nobody else wants to hear my favorite IoT story? Okay. So, they're talking about everything being sensorized today, So, I've been looking at a grill, a pellet smoker for smoking grills, and guess what? They're sensorized, right? You can Wi-Fi your grill, and it'll give you all kinds of information about what the temperature is in the grill. If you got meat probes in the meat, it'll tell you the times of the meat, tell you how long you got to cook it, tell you how long you think you have left. Totally sensorized, right? The only thing you have to do is put the meat on the grill. That's it. You can sit on your couch and start it and everything else. But anyway, that's my best IoT story. So my second best IoT story is Tesla. So anyone know what happened with Consumer Reports a couple of weeks ago in Tesla? What happened? Yeah, so what happened was Consumer Reports did not recommend Tesla Model 3 as a recommended vehicle. That was 2 weeks ago. You know what Tesla did last week? Because it was brakes. They said the brakes were bad on the Tesla. So Tesla last week delivered an over-the-air fix to the braking system. An over-the-air fix to the braking system. Consumer Reports now recommends them. That's pretty amazing. Okay, now on to more pedantic stuff. Thank you very much for sitting in the front, sir. You'll get your $1 after the show. Okay, would you guys like to know about SAP and SUSE? Who would like to know about that? Okay, who just wants a chameleon? Hey, there's seats up here if you want, folks. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in the area of intelligent enterprise. So I'm going to talk about intelligent enterprise, tell some stories about SAP, and then talk about the great relationship we have technology and development-wise with SUSE, and you'll see how we work together. So intelligent enterprise, I hate to say this, but I was around when mainframes were around. I hate that, First system I worked on was a 3090. But now we're into intelligent technologies starting in the 2010s. Thank you, sir, for sitting in front. Appreciate that. And so today, and I think you saw this from what Bill McDermott presented if you went to the keynote, that you have to have more visibility, focus, and agility so that you can do more with less, deliver best-in-class customer experiences and meet their expectations, and then invent new business models and new revenue streams for your business. So that's kind of where we are today. And this should look familiar because we saw this today. This is the SAP strategy. Basically, all of our applications at the top layer are platform products at the bottom layer for data management and integration and cloud platform down there. And then our intelligent technologies for the newfangled things going on like IoT and AI and blockchain, so on and so forth. Big data, if I miss any other hot trends, they're in that intelligent technology piece. So what we're going to talk about today is cloud platform. So I'm going to do a double click on where that fits. So SAP Cloud Platform is in the category of platform as a service. That's what we provide. And we provide over 60 different services on the platform for customers to be able to extend and integrate and build new and customize their other applications, okay? And they use any of these services to make that happen. But I'll talk about some examples of how we make that go. Okay, SAP historically has been in business automation, so we've automated the back office, we've automated the supply chain, we've automated the manufacturing build, we've been great at ERP, but we've not done a whole lot in innovation. This is an innovation product today, folks. All of the Leonardo services are built on cloud platform. Blockchain, AI, machine learning, all of that runs on cloud platform. And you'll see how it helps companies in just a moment here. Over 60 services. And really what it does is it helps you extend, integrate, build, and connect any of the business processes or data or applications throughout the enterprise. So all around the cloud platform are the other applications. We are the product that helps pull all that together. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. And here's the amazing thing. Normally when you talk SAP and implementations, you're talking 2 years and $2 million. Not with SAP Cloud Platform. What you're seeing is customers getting to a minimum viable product in less than 6 to 8 weeks for projects. Okay? We'll talk about that in just a second. Here's the other thing that's also really important, if that'll move forward for me. Cloud Platform actually runs on top of infrastructures from AWS, from GCP, on Azure, and our own data centers. So if you're running an SAP or another application on AWS data centers, you can put Cloud Platform in there and run the Cloud Platform application close to where you need it to run. So we're giving you all of the multi-cloud capabilities that you need to run Cloud Platform next to the applications that you have. Make sense? Yes? And we have some customers that say, I've got an application that runs on AWS, I've got some applications that run on GCP and others run on Azure. We run on all of those, so we can connect all those together through the multi-cloud strategy. So your pick. The other thing this does is this gets SAP out of the hardware business. We view these as our hardware partners. We then build our PaaS layer on top of that. Okay? All right, so this is where we talk about how to get to projects done quickly. So we start with an idea. We work with the customer to get the time to market 6 to 8 weeks to get to what we call minimum viable product on the platform, and the customer can actually start day one because they don't need to buy a hardware server, they don't need to provision anything, they don't need to provision databases. We do all that for them. They get to minimum viable product in 6 to 8 weeks, and then if they want to scale it, we can scale it on the platform. Okay, so that's how we go to market with SAP Cloud Platform. Let me give you a couple of examples here. Let me give you the Shell example, which I think is pretty interesting. Shell has an aviation arm that refuels airplanes. Kind of a interesting business, big money for them. They wanted to automate their ticketing system, meaning when they refueled the airplane, they wanted to go from a paper-based ticket to an automated-based ticket. So they built an application delivered on an iOS device that pre-populated the plane information for every plane that came in. The only thing that the person had to do who was refueling the plane was punch in the number of the airplane. It pulled information and pre-populated all the ticketing information. They just had to say how many gallons they put into the airplane. Now, prior to them using this mobile system, it would take them about 72 hours to process the ticket. It was a paper-based ticket. Many times they had rework that they had to do on the ticket based on the information that the refueler had to fill out. Now they don't have to do any of that. They capture that in real time. They can bill the next day. Okay, so they save 42 to 72 hours just in that one application. Interesting? And they built that application in 8 weeks. 8 weeks it took them to build that app. Another interesting application is called WaterWatch Corporation. This is a company that has built an application that took them about 3 months to build that will provide, for $1 a year, a mobile phone to smallholder farmers in Africa. And they're testing this in Nigeria today. They've got 10,000 phones out to 10,000 small farmers, and they're tracking the water usage for the farmer. They're matching that with data from Almanac data for historical water consumption, and they're helping to reduce the water consumption and pesticide use for these smallholder farmers. These guys, the smallholder farmers, would have no access to this type of information. They're providing it for $1 per year that they built in 3 months. Pretty cool applications. The rest are exactly like that. applications get built quickly, deliver big business value. I want to talk about the city of San Diego for just a second. So if you know anything about Southern California, they're living in a desert. And the biggest problem with San Diego is water. That's their number one problem. In fact, they're the only county in the U.S. that has built a desalinization plant for more water for their consumers. They decided to build an application that is a mobile application that allows consumers to go in and look at their water consumption. And it gives them a dashboard on how much they're consuming. It gives them contests against people in their neighborhood, against people in their zip code. It allows them to, if they find a water leak, to automatically put that in and register that with the city so the city can address that quickly. They were able to save 20% less water usage across the city. That is a really big deal. And because all of their ticketing systems and their call centers were now being handled mobile, they were able to save 32% on their operational costs. Again, this was less than a 6-month project for the city of San Diego. That's a real difference maker. I want you to everybody take your badges out for just a second. Do you notice something different about your badges this year? You've got a chip on the back of your badge. You're probably saying, what's that all about? If you go to any SAP area, we're no longer scanning people anymore. Have you noticed that? There's nobody scanning in the SAP campuses. We are tracking the people walking through the campuses. We're tracking what sessions you're going to. We're not scanning anymore. But if you do show up at a table and you stand for more than about a minute or so, it'll alert that person. If there's a conversation that's happening and you want to gather some information, or that person wants information from SAP because you're having a conversation, you can capture that. But it's pushed to the person at the PED versus, can I scan you? Can I scan you? Nothing personal, SUSE. I know that's what's going on, but that's. And the other thing that's happening, if you're going to all the PEDs and all the sessions on S/4HANA today, it's going to say, it sounds to me like you're interested in S/4HANA, maybe the finance area. Here's what's coming up on Wednesday in S/4HANA Finance. So we're trying to provide less intrusion, more added value to the consumer, to you guys coming to the show, so you're not getting just bombarded with scanning systems, okay? Finally, we're loading that into our sales system, and if you're already a customer who is engaged with SAP, we're not going to call you. Did you hear that? We're not going to call you because we already know that you're engaged, okay? And it's all GDPR compliant, it's all secure. We're not going to sell any of your info. So that's happening here at the show. I thought that was a pretty interesting story. Again, that was a partner who built that in about 9 months for the application, okay? All right, so now let's take a turn and talk about SAP and SUSE. And you can see that we've had a long relationship between SAP and SUSE, starting back in 1999, where SUSE joined the Linux Lab, and then they're a global technology partner agreement. And there's a lot of stuff that happened between 2002 and 2011 before we got to HANA. We did a lot of work together on BW Accelerator and some hardware things, getting ready for HANA. But you guys were the first, SUSE was the first OS for HANA, the B1 edition, coming up to 2015. SUSE joined the Cloud Foundry and started the collaboration with us on the Bosch CPI, start to collaborate with SAP Cloud Platform, which I'll get to in a second. OpenStack Cloud and storage, part of what we're doing with private clouds, and then KVM certification for SAP HANA. So as you can see, a lot of work together with SUSE. And not only is it resources, but development innovation. So there are people working from SUSE in the Waldorf site, and we're actually doing things that are not generic, but they're very innovative from what we did with BWA through HANA up through Cloud Platform today. So a lot of innovation work we're doing with SUSE. Just to show you from SUSE's software-defined infrastructure, these are actual projects we work together on. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just wanted to give you a sense of things that we worked on together as engineering teams to deliver the software-defined infrastructure. I'll let you get a picture there and then I'll move on. Okay? Got it? Okay, excellent.
Did you get the copy?
No, maybe, yes. Yes. Okay, yes. And then from a standpoint of where we deploy on data centers, so in SAP data centers, our IaaS layer is SUSE OpenStack above the hardware. Same thing on private cloud at partner data centers, the IaaS layer is the OpenStack as well. AWS and Azure and Google, they've got their own, but where we can, we apply SUSE technology in our own stack. Okay? And then if you look at for public cloud, we have all kinds of stuff available across the hyperscalers. So SLES for SAP, SLES for SAP on demand, for HANA, of course, NetWeaver, S4HANA, and then replication as well in those different places. So a long and storied and wonderful relationship that we have with SUSE. So with that, nobody wants to take a picture of that. I thought that was a good one for a picture. So anyway, just one pedigree slide on where we are with Cloud Platform, going back to that. So 9,400 customers, almost 1,000 partners building for the platform, 50 SAP apps that we're delivering on Cloud Platform, and then 1,500 apps available in the App Center. So did I do 10, 15 minutes? What did I do?
Yeah, well, hey, that's good. If you're ready to...
I'm ready to call it. Unless you guys want to ask a question. I'm happy to take 2.5 hours of questions if you wish. Look, they just want a backpack.
Oh yeah, they just want a backpack. All right, well, let's give it up for Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to our booth again.
Thank you.
Doing this. Let's have Dan reach into the jar here.
Oh, that's too much pressure.